Yes, I'll go Chunty.
Welcome back to ChuntCast, episode 3, I believe. Now, today, thanks for the comments from last videos, or last ChuntCast. Some of you pointed out, shit Chunt, you're pretty depressed by the sounds. Yes, at the time I recorded that, I was pretty damned, actually. But, you know, we all have those moments. I didn't intend it to be that obvious. When I listen back to it now, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty evident. I didn't have much of a kick in my step, and I was pretty down on everything. But, you know, that's just where I was when I did that. I feel a lot better now after putting that out there and getting it out of my system. I think that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do that one, because I'm here by myself. I don't have anyone here to bounce off, and I just felt, fuck it, you know, I'll put it out there, get out of my system, and yeah, I definitely feel like I have a load off, and it's good. So moving along, I was putting away my new games. My stack on the shelf, Xbox One games, and just looking through my digital library and just thinking about Xbox. So I just want to take a moment out, if you'll humour me for this episode, on where I think Xbox are going to go and why I think there's something to be looked out for next gen in a big way. Look, it's pretty obvious, and I'll give it to them. This generation's a washout for Xbox. As much as I've enjoyed the platform this generation, the Xbox 360 just had everything. All the... Oh, excuse me. Goodness. Begging pardon. All the tentpole titles. All the new IPs that it was building. Third-party support. 360 was selling so well. You know, they were just on top of the world. And I was just looking through my 360 stack of games and just being like, you know what? Damn, that was a good console. Just probably one of my top favourite consoles ever. And I've still got a bunch of digital games loaded on it. And I've got it actually hooked up into my lounge room again now. Now that I've moved in properly. Got all out of my boxes. And I was just thinking about Xbox One. Now, I decidedly haven't played nearly half as much Xbox this gen as I did in the 360 gen cycle. But I'm putting that down to just life changes and life circumstances needing more of my time and energies. And, you know, I'm getting older now. I say that like I'm 50 something. But like I didn't have the luxury of last gen of like 8 years to just play games non-stop, you know, and friends and all that kind of stuff were close by, and you know, we were either between jobs, or you know, you were studying or something like that. It was a simpler time, whereas now we're all spread out, don't have a lot of time to catch up with each other. And just everything else that, you know, adult life brings. So I'm putting that down to why I haven't played as much, and that just goes for gaming in general. I haven't played a lot of gaming this gen in comparison to the previous ones. Even my Switch, I don't play that as much as I thought I was going to. Once I'm finished with Mario Kart or Zelda or Mario Odyssey or Pokemon Let's Go, it gets put back, and I barely revisit it. But I've got a shit ton of games, man, on my Xbox One, an absolute metric fuck ton, and I've barely, there's games on that thing I haven't even played that I bought and haven't even booted it up once. So yeah, it's exciting to look forward to next gen, but at the same time I'm thinking, god damn it, if I've barely played half of my games that I already have, how's next gen gonna be? And I guess that's a great problem to have. Just, oh god, there's too many games. I can't play them all. I just don't have time. Like, it's a good friggin' problem to have, right? So, next gen, we know that Microsoft have just bought like every developer on the planet. You know, not every developer, but at the moment there's like 13 or 15 studios under the Microsoft Studios banner now, and they've come out saying, Microsoft, I think last week, was saying, we want to make a solid push in the gaming industry. We've bought these developers. All of our first party developers have unlimited budgets. You know, it's just insane. Like, Microsoft is the only company or business or whatever on the planet that can do this and throw their weight around like this, and just buying up studios to add to their portfolio and say blank checks for everybody, make it rain, boys and girls. And they've got Game Pass, right? So all their first party stuff comes out on Game Pass day and date. So if you think about how they've gone about it, their Xbox One now, Xbox One X, is just an amazing console. I love it. The fidelity's amazing. Everything's a bit faster on it. And if this is a sign of things to come for the next Xbox, Project Scarlet, whatever you want to call it, I can't wait. I will be sitting here on the edge of my seat for their announcements in 2019, 2020. Seriously. Like, now, they've got all these studios under their belt. You've got 2 or 3 years to really put something together. So, and that's on top of things that they might already be working on. So if you think about 2020, I'm just going to use 2020 as a ballpark. If you think of 2020 as, holy shit, we're dropping the next Xbox. Here's all of our, like, here's just all of our exclusives to look forward to. You got 13, 15 studios or something. So if you think about it, 1 year they could drop even just half of that. Go look, you know, here's 6 to 7 exclusives to look forward to at E3. Just drop. And oh look, they're all coming to Game Pass. You know, you don't have to pay full price for anything. Just pay for your $10 or less for Game Pass, and you can play it day and date. I mean, that's impressive, man. And if you've got, so I'm just going to keep saying 15. If you've got 15 developers and studios under your banner now, that just opens up the floodgates for a constant cycle of additions to Game Pass that's exclusive to Game Pass. Seriously, I mean, that's really, really good value, man. Particularly if they've got their secondary, like, low powered streaming box. If E3 2020 they're like, hey guys, here's a $200 or $300 box, just buy the box, buy a subscription to Game Pass, welcome to every game that you ever need, goodbye. You know, that just undercuts everything else. Where if you buy like the super powerful next bit of hardware from PlayStation 5 or the next Xbox, I won't be buying the streaming one. I'll be going hands down, you know, balls deep in the more powerful unit. And so that's not a problem. But I'm hearing that rumors are saying that expect the next PS5 and the next Xbox to be considerably more expensive than what they were this generation at launch. And it makes sense, right? It makes sense to say that, or to anticipate that, because the race to the top, I guess if you want to call it, the one to be the most powerful. At the moment, Xbox has the clout to say, at the moment, they have the most powerful console in the world right now, for a year now, and going on for another year in 2019, or, you know, until 2020 when the next consoles come out. They've got like a good 2 or 3 years to say we've had the most powerful console on the market. And Phil Spencer in a number of interviews has kept saying that's gonna be how it is, like, forever moving forward. Xbox, he's I mean, this is insane for him to come out and say, look, you know, no matter what, we will always have the most powerful console on the market. And I'm going to hold him to that, because everything he's said up until, not up until now, but everything he's said, he's made it happen. His visions or whatever, and all the people behind the scenes, whatever they've said they're going to do, ever since Phil came on board, they've done. So for him to say Microsoft and Xbox will always have the most powerful console on the market, I'm going to believe him and take him on that. And that's pretty damn ballsy to say. Like, to even just guarantee that. Like, if they have a slip up in Intel, and the PS5 ends up having more RAM or something, or more efficient RAM and processor speeds than the Xbox, because their Intel didn't say otherwise, you know, that's kind of a bit of slip up. So I don't know how I don't know the ins and outs on how these guys figure out who's got what. Of course, you know, there's insiders, and I'm sure they've got their methods and, you know, all the sleuthing behind the scenes, but I mean, this is insane. I'm actually getting super hyped for next gen, and we're 2 or 3 years out. And look, admittedly, part of that has, I'm going to admit it, obviously, I can't not admit it, that there has been somewhat of an exclusive issue with the Xbox One. But look, part of that, I think, was a conscious decision on Phil's part, where basically I think he realized, he saw the writing on the wall, and he's like, nah, alright, just let's wipe our hands and lick our wounds, and let's just start gearing the fuck up for the next one. And you can tell they released the Xbox One S. It's a smaller redesign, and then the Xbox One X. So there's these iterations and testing and, you know, treading the waters, or testing the waters, if you will, to see what the consumers are like. Yeah, we like that, or we don't like that. And apparently the uptake of the Xbox One X has exceeded expectations, at least, or it's doing very, very well sales wise. So there is a market proven to be there for, you know, the elite of us, if you want to say, to buy the most powerful console with the highest fidelity and all that nonsense and horsepower and stuff. I'm one of those people. I finally got my Xbox One X a few months ago. Finally. And I bought, it's a white one, and I bought the white Elite controller because I want to play on the best. You know, I'm not a PC gamer at all, so don't even get me started on that. I don't care for PC gaming. But if I'm playing a game, like besides Xbox, the brand, I really like the Xbox services. I like the Xbox Live. I like the exclusives that are on offer. It's all there. Like, what they're offering me is, it speaks to me every generation, ever since the first gen. Most of my games, or if not all of them, are all Xbox games, outside of some Mega Drive and Nintendo Switch games. So, like, I'm an Xbox diehard, right? I've got a classic Xbox 360, and my Xbox One X, and that's what I like to play on. So, if someone says, oh, if you tried another one, you know, you probably like it better, and I'm like, no, that's not the case, because as long as Xbox, down to the wire, as long as Xbox has Halo and Gears of War and Forza Motorsport, or Forza Horizon, I think it is now, I'm teetering more towards favouring, I'm going to be there. So there's 3 games right there that, as long as they're on the Xbox platform, I'm there till I'm dead, basically. And you know, if I get into a better spot, I can't justify having multiple consoles. I tried that on the PS3 and Xbox 360 and Wii generation, and I barely touched my PS3 at all. So I just didn't want to repeat that, even though I know there's a shit ton of great games on the PlayStation, but I just can't justify the cost. And personally, me, I'd want to go get a PS4 Pro to do the, you know, to play it as the best as I can. It's just what I do. It's what I want to do. And if I can afford to do it, I will. But for now, Xbox is it. So I've explained myself there quite thoroughly. So hopefully I won't need to explain it again in this little ChuntCast. But I was thinking to myself the other night, I was like, holy shit, the offerings that they've got building up right now. No one else has. Nintendo is just still struggling with their online presence, their online services. PSN is just a shit show. Like, literally a shit show. It's not good. It's not a good service. Just down to the fact of the simple name change, the foresight they didn't have at the time when they created PSN. That issue with the name changing, that goes way back to the rollout of PSN when that was being created. It's just insane. You know, like, you'd think you'd have some foresight on that. The simple thing of, if you change your name, you can't play or access anything you've purchased or your save games. You know, there's a potential to just stuff up everything. I mean, that's a big problem, man. Big problem. And then they're not as secure and all this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the diatribe about ratting on PlayStation and the PSN, but I'm just saying the facts. Where you might say, and you have valid points about the exclusives problems with Xbox at the moment, but that's just about to change. So soon enough, that problem, that argument, is not going to be an argument anymore. You'll find the next generation Xbox, I can feel it, and I'm pretty much saying we can guarantee it, is exclusives are going to be a priority. Because they've already put in the groundwork to sort out and bolster their services for when they walk out on stage announcing the next Xbox. They've got, bam, Game Pass, bam, all these studios, bam, the most powerful console again, bam, new IPs, all this kind of stuff. And it's all cheap too. Like, for them to be able to say, buy our console and just enroll in Game Pass, you've saved yourself, you know, a few $100 from picking up, you know, 2 or 3 games or whatever you do at launch. The exclusive ones, like, if you can just afford to buy the console and throw down $10 for the month of Game Pass, and you know they're gonna have a special, they'll be giving it away for like $1 or $2 for 2 months, you know, every couple of events that happen. So if they come out on E3 saying, hey, look, Game Pass this month is $1 or whatever, just go out and buy the console, sign up for Game Pass, download to your heart's content. You know, that's just like, that's just nuts. So Sony's going to want to hope that they've got some equivalent. I know that they're trying to get their PlayStation Now service, like, you can download the games now instead of just streaming them, but the PSN speeds for downloading and stuff is just, it's atrocious. So they'll need to fix that. And there's no competition, man. Like, Xbox have the best Xbox Live type service. They have the best Game Pass type service. They will have the most powerful console if Phil's word is right. If they do come out swinging, and I know they will, because they can't fuck this up again. If they come out swinging and their stage is just full of new IPs and new exclusives, next gen's going to be something unreal. And I have a feeling, and we're already starting to, well, not starting to, we've been seeing it with Sony for a while now, where they're just resting on their laurels. They're resting on the quote-unquote goodwill of their customers, and that's not going to go very far, and it's already starting to wane with some of the other issues that have happened this year, like crossplay and PSN and all that kind of stuff, and the name changing thing, and just a few other things that have been going on, and they just seem to be like, meh. Oh, and they're not doing E3 next year, you know, all that kind of shit. I mean, it's just a slap in the face. And E3 this year was a slap in the face. They barely put any effort in, particularly the last few years. They just, meh. We got the best selling console on the market, meh. We'll just sit them in a room and make them watch trailers on a big screen. No other effort. No other effort put in at all. I just, yeah, I don't like that. They're the cocky, confident Sony again. The PS3 Sony, or the PS2 like Sony, when they come out in the PS3 and just totally think people will get 2 jobs to this console type mentality. I don't know, guys. I'm actually very excited, as you can't tell. There's a lot to be excited for with Xbox next gen, and they can't fuck it up. They can't. You know, I've spoken to people recently about saying, oh, what if, and they ask me, oh, but Chunt, what if they do this, or what if they confuse their messaging again, blah blah blah, and I just say they can't. They literally can't fuck it up. Because they can't go through another generation like the Xbox One. As far as just perception, like consumer perception goes, I mean, that essentially ruined. Well, not ruined, it just gave Xbox a struggling uphill start for this gen. You know, and they're only just starting to come out the end of it better. So, be excited. Nintendo, I don't even think it's even in the equation anymore. You know, it seems to be a bit passé to say they're their own thing now, but they pretty much are. They do what they want. They have their loyal consumer base. They are what they are. Even they say they don't see the PlayStation and Xbox as direct competitors, and they're right. They don't have the fight for the most powerful. That's between the other two. So I'm not even considering Nintendo in this conversation at all. Xbox. It's my gaming platform of choice for a vast number of reasons, and I'm super excited for the next Xbox. Hopefully you guys are too. Those of you who are PlayStation loyalists, hopefully you can see through some of your discrepancies and kind of appreciate what's to come and not just be totally, you know, brand blindfolded. I know it sounds like I am, but I'm not. Like, I almost bought a PS4 recently, but I was like, nah, we're getting so close to next gen, I'll save my pennies. And I bought some Transformers instead. Yeah, I bought some toys, whatevs. So anyway, for those of you that play everything, good on you. That's the best way to be. For those of us who can only really invest in the one, it helps. When you've got things to look forward to, and when a company is putting the effort in and promising things and making the right moves and putting the right steps in front, like Xbox is doing. I just hope for the PlayStation fans out there that Sony start to take a leaf out of excuse me. Oh goodness, can't even say PlayStation without a gag reflex. No, just kidding. Hopefully they take a page out of Xbox's book soon and do the same, so they don't, you know, take you all for granted. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking about Xbox and what's to come. I think they're in just quite the amazing position, and bolstering all their ammunition and all their movements, checking every single box so they don't fuck it up again. I guarantee you, if they come out swinging with the weight of Microsoft behind them, it's going to be insane. Insane. I can't wait. Anyway, let me know what you think below in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Uncle Chunt, and I'll be everywhere. And I look forward to starting a conversation with you below. Toodaloos.